Howdy y'all, it's me, good old Clem Cadiddlehopper. Anyway, if you don't know who that is, you guys are way too young. Scott Grove here, GroovyMusicLessons.com, Dr. Groovy. I have mentioned it a couple times that all my old videos that teach you guys how to do anything, they're on my website. All the guitar reviews and such, a couple live performances maybe, are on YouTube still. But everything else was removed because everybody's a dill hole. Anyway, I did have videos up, and again, they're on my website, about why elixirs are the greatest thing ever in the world, blah, 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 blah. And maybe where some of you got confused, and maybe where I didn't make it plain enough, is when I'm talking about Elixir strings being the greatest in the world, I shouldn't even have to say it, but I guess I will, since it doesn't matter. And I'm talking about out of, and I always use the Polywebs, I'll explain why momentarily. But there are millions and millions and millions of musicians who were in need of a product that is coded like this. So what I'm trying to get at, since so many people just have not figured it out yet, is I've tried every single coded string ever made, and the Elixir Polywebs, not the Nano Webs, have proved to me over and over and over that they are my personal favorite of all coded strings, not of all plain old regular strings. Thing is, and you guys, the ones that yell the loudest are the morons that said, well, you need a different diet. You need to start going to GNC and all. It's like, have you ever seen people that go to GNC? They are the most sickly looking people around. Holy crap. There's some monster looking people coming out of there. They all look like Charlie Sheen will here in about 20 years. All AIDS infested. I know, he's Charlie. Coke and whores, man, can't beat it. Okay, the reason we all need this is the acidity level in our sweat. And that's not due to usually, which is sometimes, it's not due to our diet. It's because of just the acidity levels in your hands, which are not always caused by your diet. So there is so much demand for such a thing that, hey, they're helping us out. Do I prefer, Scott Grove, the great one, do I prefer the sound of uncoated strings? Yes, I do. But I can't get away with it. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's stainless steel, or I love throwing on a good old set of Ernie Ball 9s, Super Slinkies, or the Darios, tossing them on, and for about 30 minutes, they're fine. Then they go completely dead, and then by break time is over, they are rusted. So I would always have to, and I did it for 30 years, had to change my entire set of strings every single break. Not once a night, every single break. And generally, if clubs I was playing back in Indiana for a lot of when I was growing up were 6 nights a week, or 7, but anyway, they were always 6 sets, 9 to 3, 45 on, 15 off, 45 on, 15 off, so that's 6 sets of strings every single night. Yes, it's that bad, and there are a lot of us that have to do it. Other people, they're like, well, I had to change them once a week, or because we have different acidity levels, and some people are okay with stainless steel strings instead of the nickel wound strings. Some that works for. Other people, we definitely need this. The reason that I love the Elixir Polywebs more than anything else, the Nano Webs have a thinner coating on it, but those tend to over pretty much any circumstance, it falls off and it scrapes off and it leaves these long tampon looking strings hanging down from your guitar. That does no good. It's like fiddle bows. It looks like a bunch of hairs hanging down. That's not good. I have never, ever once in the past 15 years. I still have on my pink Strat over there. It's been 15 or 16 years that the set of Polywebs has still been on there. They're still like brand spanking new. Same guitar, same as before. I might be able to reach it in a second and let you hear them. But these Polywebs, they just simply were the originals. They had the thicker coat on them. I was a member of my band at the time. I was playing with a group called the Mud Puppies. They're in northern Nevada now, but we were down in Florida, Davie, Florida, playing a club there during a hurricane. But one of them, the lead singer, I've got a video of the Mud Puppies here on YouTube and on my site. But he said, "Hey man, I saw these at the music store. Thought you might want to try them." I put them on, and then I went to go change them, after the set. But nah, they were just like I put them on. Did they sound as fresh as a set of daisies? No. They sound like my typical strings would. Say I put on a set of D'Addario and played 10 minutes on them and let it set for 3 minutes. You don't know what that's like because you don't have my acidity level. But others of you who have known me for the last 10 years or so that I've been on here can sympathize with me because of this acidity level and how quick you rust normal strings. My strings, honestly, yes, they do rust at like a superhero rusting power. If that's my only superpower, is that I can rust strings in a matter of 45 minutes. You play, that thing, come back from your break, and they are literally rusted. I mean, it chemically should not be possible. But it does, and so many of you have written and said it does the same for you. Okay, the difference between these and everything else is on the back of everything. They put the coating around the entire string, which simply protects the windings, in between the windings. That's where your strings go dead. You get, no matter if you do or don't wash your hands after you go take a piss, dead skin or dirt, even if you wash every time, don't matter. Dead skin and everything gets between those windings, and fast fret and gasoline and lighter fluid and all that stuff, it's not going to get all that out of there. But if you have this polymer coating over top of them and it's thick enough, okay, it's going to slightly deaden your strings, but they're still very, 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 very alive sounding. And again, if any of you guys use this and you are peeling crap off like the NanoWebs do when it gets that way, you need to improve your playing style and quit doing pick scratches down the strings. I know it's a way of life, but if you want your strings to last, don't peel the coating off. That's what you're doing. And if you're playing real hard with metals or steel picks or something and sharpen them down to a point, yeah, you're going to peel it off. So think it through, folks. Elixir is the name of a set of strings. That's it. The actual company is Gore, right there. They just make polymer. These strings are actually D'Addario strings. Okay, so D'Addario sends the strings over there. Gore, polymer company, just applies that crap to them, and that's it. That's what these are. I'm doing the video again because somebody noticed that I had this out the other day, and they're like, I was doing the knob video, and they're like looking here, and they're seeing my colored balls in the strings, or in the bridge, and they're like, D'Addario strings? Yeah, I'm getting ready to gut this entire guitar and put all new everything on here. So why change strings before I gut it? That's why they're there. Okay, so those are stock strings. The guitar has been played once. So anyway, that's why those are on there. Somebody asked me, why are those there? Anyway, again, this guitar came in today. This Washburn Force 3. Check out, here's the strings. Here's the A. That sounds like my strings if I was to use D'Addario's after about 15 minutes. and then you put a new one on. Okay, so dead. And then here's a set of my 9-gauge polywebs. I mean, they go forever, and they will sound like this until the day you take them off. Again, this guitar over here, I'm not going to take it down because I have honestly ran out of room to hang guitars. So I'm using, what was that thing I was doing the other day? These zip ties. I'm using these zip ties on about 10 guitars in here now. It's just ran through here like that and around the tops of these hangers up here, and I'm just hanging them off the high E tuner. And they're just hanging from that one tuning machine. And that's how I'm fitting them more in here. So there's just guitars among guitars hanging here. Okay, the pink paisley Strat, you'll see, is even hanging off that one. It's hanging the lowest. See if I can get in here, get this acoustic out of the way. And again, I did that old video before and it was on this guitar, but it's hanging by its high E tuner only. I mean, there it is. It's hanging low, but here it is. Ringing forever. Its strings have been on here 15 plus years. And those are the Polywebs. Since the last gig that I did on the road with that one before I finally started buying new guitars, that was my only guitar for most of my life. I never had any money. I was on the road. And when you play with national artists and all that stuff, you know, they pay you about $300 a week, and that's it. That's all you get. It's not good money to go out and play with national artists. Unless you're the songwriter, then you make tons of money. So you might as well stay home and make all the good money. But anyway, so that's it. People wonder what gauge I use. 9 through 42. And then the acoustics, the 12 through the 53s. Okay, that's all I use for my acoustics. And every electric, no matter what. If it's a Gibson or a Fender or any other abortions I have laying around. Those are all I use. And again, that is how to coat them. Nobody else does that. Every other coated string is like they took spray paint and just kind of sprayed it on, and it's inside the windings. All that paint is inside there. You get green strings or purple strings or glow-in-the-dark strings, but it's all spray painted in. It's just going through a paint gun looking thing, aerosoled in, and it gets in the grooves of your strings and your strings go dead. Again, that's all that makes strings go dead is dirt in between the windings. You notice how your high skinny strings, your E and your B, and on electric guitars, your G string, they don't have windings, so they generally, for the most part, won't go dead. What does Elixir do now? It says, with anti-rust plain strings. What does that mean? Does that mean they put the polymer over them? No, it means they put maybe some stainless steel strings for your high ones there. They don't need coating. There's no winding on them, so there's no way to get dirt inside of those strings. So if you put stainless steel there, well, then that can't rust. But if you have on the outside nickel, like these do, then you're going to rust them, and dirt's going to get in them. But every other company sprays their stuff in between those things. Every company, no matter who it is, that has quote unquote coated strings and is trying to ride the coattails of Elixir, that's all it is. So that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I would love to go back to using, brand spanking new strings every single day, because that sounds best. When I go record, that's what I do. I don't put these on. I want brighter strings. So I'll, change them all day long on, about 10 to 15 guitars that I take with me if I'm going to a studio. And I'll just use regular strings that are just as twangy as can be. I know you guys think my stuff's as twangy as I can get anyway, but I like them twangier. But these last longer than anything I could think of. You never have to change your strings, ever, 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 period, unless you have again, a picking technique that is unorthodox or just plain stupid. Okay? So, anytime I have ever put a set of strings on a guitar made by Elixir, I have never had to put another set on, ever, for any reason. Have I can't remember, I don't think it's been 45, 50 years, however old I am, that I have ever even broke a string, period, on any instrument. It doesn't happen. There's no reason for that stuff to happen. Take care of your guitars. They'll take care of you. So just learn what you're doing and everything will be fine. So again, that's it. That was the whole Elixir thing. Then I wrote to Elixir and I said, hey, these are with the old videos. So you guys probably saw this. It's not on there anymore. But I said, regardless of what you think of all my cussing and all my whatever I did a whole lot of then, I said, I have sold more strings for Elixir than any of your paid endorsees or whatever. I said, how about some freebies? How about sharing the wealth? So they sent me like 50 sets for free. Even Elixir Polyweb bass strings, which haven't been made in years. They went back and found me some. Gotta love it. I've still got a whole case in there because I don't have too many basses. I got 5 or 6 around here at least, but put one set on, they're good for life. What can I tell you? Again, yeah, I would love to have a nice set of roto sounds on the basses and play them like that. They're and brand spanking new, and play on them for about 15 minutes. But after that, then they're going to sound worse than what the Elixir Polywebs will for their entire life. So you either learn to save a ton of money by having the same set of strings on your guitar for 15 years, instead of saying, oh, they cost too much. Well, imagine if you had to change your strings 6 sets a night. You know, you're not losing money now. You know, so I was going, you know, do that gig over there for 2 weeks, do that gig for 3 weeks, do that one for a week, and just months going by, and it's still the same strings on my guitar. It's just a life-changing thing. And again, just be nice to the strings, and that stuff will never come off. And again, if it does come off, it's your fault. It's the way you play. I play 90% of the time with my fingers, not with my fingernails, but I hardly ever use a pick. So I'm, I guess, lucky that way. But examine the way you play if you're shredding these things up, because the nano webs, yeah, they do fall off, and Elixir themselves pushes the nano webs. They don't even want them, the polywebs sold in stores. They've brought them down that there's like hardly any of them ever available retail. You have to order them online. It's just the way they are. They want you to buy the polyweb, the nano webs, and in my personal opinion, they suck because they fall apart. Will they last forever? Nope. That's why I throw the polywebs out there. Yeah, thanks to Gore Industries anyway for giving me all the free strings. I did get to sell half of them because you never asked me what gauge I used. So I put about, I don't know, 25, 30 sets for sale on eBay of the 10 gauge strings because I won't use them for anything. So thanks to all you guys for buying those real quick. And that's it. So that's what the whole Elixir string thing was about. If you have to use a coated string because you're like one in 10 musicians, which is a lot, will have that kind of acidity that just goes through a set of strings like you've never seen in your life. It's just amazing to have this. And again, us eating tofu burgers and carrots for the rest of our lives is not going to change our acidity that much, you know. So all you Ethiopians and everything, don't worry about it. The rest of us have that skin too, you know. If you eat dirt and we eat cheeseburgers, we can still have the exact same acidity level. So none of you GNCers yelling at me for this. You guys be groovy. Try the polywebs. If you don't like them, hey, what did it hurt? But living testimony, and they are wonderful. If they're not for you, whatever. Go get another set of strings and find what works for you. But that works for me, is all I'm trying to say. And again, all the other coated strings are coated via a spray gun. And that clogs all the windings, and that's just like taking a dump on the strings and then wiping it all in there and letting it stay. See how they ring. I did it before. I put on some brand new, what's that crappy stuff? Again, those colored things by, oh, it's going to escape me. They got Cool Blue and something red. You guys remind me who they are, but man, they go on dead. They go on like you've had them on for 30 years, and with my acidity level, they go on and stay that way. They're horrible. I've tried all the clear tones, all that crap, and dead in 15 minutes and everything else. All the other ones are that way. They go on and stay dead. So, once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com. Come over for a bunch of free lessons. And all the old videos, hey, they're over there where it says, hey, a bunch of old videos. Yeah, there's a menu there on the left. People are like, I can't find it. It's on the left where it says all my old shitty videos. They're right here. Go look for them. They're there. Okay. You guys be groovy. And again, try them. What do I get for it? Nothing. But it was cool that I did get the free strings. But I had to beg for them. But I got them. So, enjoy or don't. Take care. Bye.